This broadcast is brought to you by Split Reason, putting Geeky back into sexy since before Web 2.0. Check it out, people! What's up, nerds? I am Sebastian Sjöberg. This is the 8th Polygonrevue.com StarCraft 2 broadcast, and it's good to be back. Last one was a couple of days ago, and as you can tell from the title, this is not the promised interview with Nick Tasteless Plot. Scheduling is the hardest issue with making these broadcasts come together. I do have another highly interesting guest with me on the show today, the one known as HuK-Norris, or just HuK for short, and he will tell us many interesting things about how to be and how to become a top tier Protoss player, and many other things as well. Tasteless, the good old Nick, he will be on the show. We had to reschedule. Many interesting things are happening over in Korea, many of them esports related, with Nick at the forefront, and soon he will have more to tell, and he will come on the show to do so. So do continue to share your questions as you've done before, and I will make sure to forward them to him when I do talk to him. Also, in further news, you might have noticed how I'm not having this less than amazing fatality headset around my neck, and that the sound is a lot better. Well, during my absence I have worked on a lot of stuff. Many of them will be apparent soon over the following weeks. One of them is already, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have been snowballed. That fantastic little thing is the very best multi-purpose omnidirectional mic for less than $100 that you can find for use on the interwebs. And the good people over at Techzilla will agree with me. It's a fantastic piece of kit, available in fake aluminium, white and black, and it's called the Snowball. It's an excellent mic. Yeah, you can record podcasts like this, instruments, as well as interviews taking place with more than one person in the same room. It's a very good little item, and it's also the second unofficial little sponsor via Amazon.com for this broadcast through the link you'll see there, Polygonrevue.com/snowball. It's an excellent little thing, and I'm a strong advocate for it, and I can recommend it. So if you're in the business of something like that, feel free to browse. It helps the show, and it will help you get very good sound. Now, okay, enough of all that jibber jabber. It's time to get on with the interview. The HuK-inator, or the Incredible HuK, his name lends itself so well to many jokes, is one of North America's very best Protoss players, if not the best. You have seen him in various show matches and broadcasts. He has won a whole lot of tournaments during the beta. He'll tell us all about it, and he's well worth listening to if you want to be a top tier player as well. So without further ado, it's time to get serious. HuK-Norris serious. Hello and welcome everybody to this interview with me, Sebastian Sjöberg, and HuK-Norris, or just HuK, a famous player, Protoss, from North America, whom you have heard a lot about and seen even more of, I'm sure. How are we doing today, HuK?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Not bad at all. It's inconveniently hot in Sweden right now, but it only lasts for a month or two, so I shouldn't complain, really. But it's quite nice to be back home for a while. You're in Canada, is that not the case?
Yeah, I am in Canada, and it's actually kind of hot here too, but it's not too bad.
Global warming has its advantages, I guess. However, in the world of StarCraft, things are heating up as well. The beta phase 2 is underway, and the retail release of the game is very close indeed. We're going to talk more about the specifics of that, but basically, how does it feel right now, being a player in that?
Feels good. I mean, on a day-by-day basis, I'm learning so much and becoming a lot better. I mean, the game's so new that I'm always trying to figure out, little tweaks to my gameplay that I can improve on. And it's really exciting to see so many great players and just a beta with so many great tournaments.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, really, how quickly StarCraft 2 as a game is exploding. I bought a game magazine, the paper version, which I haven't done for years, just the other day, because they had an article about Brood War in it, and sort of looking back at when Brood War was in alpha and beta and was built on the Warcraft 2 engine, and that was 12, 13 years ago. And it took, because you were a StarCraft player, a Brood War player, I know that, it took so many years before the game got even close to the point where people are playing StarCraft 2 right now. Exploring it, finding new ways quickly to adapt their strategies, etc. It's quite an exciting process. And you were featured on the biggest show there is out there very recently, the Day 9 Daily 151, where he showcased your Protoss play, your Phoenix play in particular. What can you tell us about your playstyle and referring to that particular match?
Well, I like to think of myself as very aggressive and micro-intensive. I mean, my macro is pretty good too. That particular game you're referring to was PvZ on Scrap Station, which is kind of a hard map for Protoss, I feel. So I've been, messing around with this one base Phoenix play that transitions decently into a safe Expo 2 base play and to mid-late game, while still being able to harass and be aggressive towards the Zerg without taking too many chances.
So would you say that you're very fond of the Phoenix as a unit? Because it's quite particular. It reminds me of the Corsair, of course, from Brood War, but it's one of a kind. Is that a weapon of choice for you?
I don't know if I would say it's my weapon of choice. I mean, I don't use them as much as I would like to, or even that much. I would say they're like Noni's weapon of choice, but I definitely like the aspect and the role they're filling in StarCraft 2, and they're a great unit. I just wish Blizzard would take off the easy mode, move Phoenix auto attack bug or whatever it is that they have implemented right now.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like driving an automatic, which is fun, but not really skillful necessarily. However, we'll see what they do with that. I understand that the retail release might look considerably different to the game we're playing in many ways. But you're speaking of yourself as an aggressive player, and I know that many people listening to this are quite new to the game, and they very much want to be good, learn how to play, and that is very much why I'd like to have guests as you on the show to talk about the philosophy behind it. And if you're watching that game, which I'm sure many people have, and they will after this, if not before, you can see that it was, or you could say it was your Phoenix player. You managed to dismantle the Zerg player and then pick him apart. That was the crucial aspect. But isn't it more the case that you managed to cause some significant damage by an unorthodox harassment, perhaps, but then were able to transition back into a more standard game? You didn't let your macro slip, you expanded. Is that the crucial aspect of being good, managing to have a solid base behind your cute tactics?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like when you look at Hydra, you think, well, what most people think is, he's this really strong macro player, and you won't see him do too many gimmicky or cheesy strategies. When people look at me, they see all-in plays, or they see really aggressive, cheesy strategies or gimmicky plays, which is good because you need to have those worked into your gameplay, as well as being, having this macro-based play that you could do too. So when you play any given opponent and any given day for like any tournament, they don't know what to expect. They don't know if you're gonna, you're gonna all in them, you're gonna do some really weird gimmicky strategy, or you're gonna play them straight up standard, or you're gonna, get really greedy and take like 3 expos. So I think it's really key.
Yes, it's sort of mix between sticking a dagger into someone's back while having a very solid sword in front of them. You have to have a a good understanding of how to play standard, if you will, if there's such a thing, whilst also being able to surprise them, etc. And I think for new players, it might be difficult to do both at the same time, and maybe one should just practice one or the other. But I understand, reading from forums and even playing, that many people focus very much on one trick, one cute little aspect, Colossus drop, and if that doesn't work, they'll do twice double the Colossus drop until they win or fail.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got to know how to do both, especially at the level that I and other players play. I think playing at a lower level, you should try to knock out standard